meine ZÜNDAPP-Freunde, ich bin, no, I cannot speak German, just very slightly dishwasher about Auspuffanlagen. Now, however, I mounted the engine in the frame, and I borrowed a RP2 pipe from a friend, and I also rejetted the engine for E85 as quite simple. I got another E85 in my tank, in my fuel tank. So let's just run that out, and it's responded really good to E85. Excuse me. So what I've been doing is, yeah, just about that. I modified the frame a little bit to get the pipe without, not modifying, I just cut things away. Well, however, movie about that is up, and not up, it will be coming in this one. So, where are we? I can show you. So, I cut that pipe away, and I cut a little bit away with that. And I'll do something different right here, and make something with a bend right there and a bend right here to allow place for the pipe. And then I can, the new pipe, my calculator pipe, I haven't built it yet. I can then route it very easily like this pipe is routed, and by that get it to fit very easily on other bikes also, as this routing is for ZÜNDAPP, and it works on those, and if I route the pipe the same, it will work on any other also. So a little bit of a guide. Let's talk about jetting. E85 fuel, need about 30% more fuel than petrol, and it's quite easy. In Mikuni charts, I haven't got those, but they measure in flow, the newer jettings, so that's just taking 30% bigger number. But in Kehin and Delotto, as they are measured in hundreds of a millimeter, you need to calculate, let's say you're taking a 100 jet, we cannot just take 130, because that isn't 30% larger. Well, it is actually just at 100, but if having a 200 jet, you need to take 260 to get 30%. And so I went from, let's see, I had 150 main jet, I put in 166, just it ran a little bit rich, so I just put in something, I kind of like felt the breathe. And then on pilot jet, I put in from 45, I put in 52. Well, it's in the clip later on. I think I'm talking about it. I can't remember as for now. My number memory, you guys. That's the only thing I did, though. Only thing. You do not need to alter the ignition. You do not need to whatever. But this is the thing with E85 and alcohol fuel. It's got higher octane numbers. That means it's more resistant to not self-ignite as pre-ignition. It's more resistant to pinging, and it can take more compression ratios, more compression pressure. It can take more fill grade in the cylinder without starting to detonate. And E85 got about 103 to 104 octane numbers. But again, E85 runs about 100 degrees colder in exhaust. So you can gain a lot of power, not a lot of power. You can gain power by it is running colder, and due to ethanol is carrying a little bit of oxygen in the fluid itself. And you can run it, let's say you got petrol that has 104 octane, then you can run this compression ratio. You can run more compression ratio on E85, as you can run E85 a little bit richer and won't lose power as you do on petrol when running rich. Thereby it runs colder and you got more safety before it starts to detonate. So you got kind of like a dynamic compression ratio, no, not compression ratio, dynamic compression resistance octane number. You got like a dynamic octane number. So you can run very high compression ratios in alcohol engines due to cooler stuff, and you can let it eat some more than normal. So let's get into it. I'll cut in a little bit of a time lapse when I'm mounting the engine, and then let's start it. And have a nice one, guys. Hello, two-stroke stuffing. You're still welcome here to Sweden, Dalarna. Bye. Not bye. Bye for now. We'll run some video. So, I changed to a pipe that is calculated for this cylinder, a RP2 from Sweden. It isn't calculated for my porting, but calculated for Superterm in its standard form. But I figure it's much better than the Yasunia I had earlier. So now I'll test start. I have a very little fuel because I'm going to rejet it for E85 because I got E85 in the fuel tank. So I got this fuel nap bottle again. I needed to cut a little bit to get the frame to allow the pipe, and it's easy to re-weld, and I'll re-weld it in a way that I can use this anyway later. So I go get the starter and put an exhaust hose on if it breaches. Almost. I'll do some contraption right here. So now it won't fall off anyway. I won't run it on the dyno today, but now I can start it to see how it responds with this pipe and then rejet it for E85. I can't mount a kick, oops, there you are. I can't mount a kickstart because the frame is too wide, so it will hit everything. So I need to do this electrical starter again. Take you away a little bit, like so. So let's see. I haven't got any shock. That's working. Oops. I've got spark. And it's petrol related then. I haven't got the shock. The shock is one stick open. So I'll give it some juice. Now then. Eat. Let her eat. Man. Fuck. I destroyed this flywheel. 32. Much better response with this pipe. But Yasune, as my nephew said, is not for this engine. By the way, it isn't the nephew that owns this engine, but it's a leftover pipe from his own project many years ago. And we dynoed that old engine 19 something on the sprocket. With this pipe we didn't even try it, as I said, it was so bad. And it is bad for this engine. Probably works very good on some other system, other setup, but way better response with this pipe, RP2, Swedish made pipe. So I will keep on chugging along for setting it up for dyno pulls, but there won't be any dyno today. I will start it later on E85, because I want it to have some safety from some heating, and it will shift the RPM levels a little bit downwards. And as for the carburetor is set up now with 150 yet, you saw on the RPM, the tachometer, 13,500 RPM about, and pipe program says it's way over there. Not way over there, it's over when it's above 13.2 something. It's done, this engine, but the pipe might stretch it. But the pipe I will build later on at 13.2 about, it's done. But it sounded way better. Before I had some doubt that this engine would even work any good, but now I'm feeling a little bit lifted up. So I'll keep on chugging along. I'll pause for a while, take a sandwich or something, and getting it up for E85 and start it again. Let's see, what do we got? We got 42. I'll put 52. 40. 50. I found 50. So 50 it is. 50 pilot jet. 150 main jet. I'll take 165 something. 150 main right there. And then the box next to it. 160. I found 160, no, wait a second. 166. It's close enough, that's 160. So, I jetted it up some, and now I will take fuel from the fuel tank instead of that diaper bottle, or what do you call it. So now I can run it a longer time. That's why I'm taking E85. And you guys know that E85 contains about 103 or 104 octane and can take a little bit more rich mixture without losing power. So, fuel hose. Fuel hose. I'll make a loop. Oops. The coil went loose. It worked anyway. That's kind of cool. However, I'll make a loop with this. Straight down. Like that. I need to torque. Like so. So, E85 jetting though, you shouldn't need to give it more timing, but it can take more timing due to octane, but it burns about the same rate than petrol. So I'll start it and see how it sounds. I'll put the camera a little bit more away from you guys. Might be a smoke show as there are more oil in this fuel. Where are we? Like so, something. And then let's try to start. It's working. Yes. Fuel petcock is on. And that one's flowing like a mofo. So no issues there. ER5, a little bit of a hiccup in starting, but it started, and now it revs 14,000 with no issue. I'll show you guys. I got the green marker still. This is maximum where it's been earlier. So that's quite cool. So I'm looking forward to this. And of course, in the lowest low range RPM, slightly above idle, big carburetor, big inlet duration, big exhaust durations. It wants to speed up to about 4,000 before it takes throttle, and that's just the way it is. But that will be fixed with the reed valve later on. I got it, so I'll test it later on. And it sure woke up with this RP2 pipe. So now I need to build my own pipe, as I have simulated, and it should give some more. But I don't know yet. Yes, we'll end off here today. Bye guys.